Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? A little talking. Okay, I can't say it because it's 10 seconds or so before I can say what I want to say on the Tuesday talking you know what. Today we're going to talk about the Darkhorse. What does it have to run in order for it to impress us? We all understand that the Darkhorse makes less horsepower than the GT350. So unless that car runs or handles significantly better than the GT350, it should not impress the people that know what's happening. Now, I understand 100% it's the last pony car left. There's going to be specialty models. I'm sure there's going to be a Boss 302. I'm sure there's going to be a Shelby GT500. And maybe something in between, because Ford loves to make sub-models for everything. We've had the Bullet, we've had the Mach 1, we've had the GT350, and the GT500. Now that the GT350 is gone and dead, the GT500 might still be made with the new aero, the new nose, the similar power plant, and obviously the gas guzzler tax. But we'll talk about that today on Talking Shit Tuesday for a little bit, for sure.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
All right, and as always, we want to thank the sponsors, the people that keep the disco ball turning. The moment that disco ball stops turning, I'm either not making enough money to pay the electricity or we've lost sponsors. DNA Hat Performance, DNAHatPerformance.com, yet another hat giveaway today. No, I'm sorry, not a giveaway. Members only prize. That's right. If you're a member, you can get a hat today. Ultimate Header, UltimateHeader.com. We're doing another prize for the members. Another set of clamps for your H-pipe collector area. I have one here. I'll show you how it works. Calimer Transmission. Ben Calimer Transmissions up there getting NT82s done. 3160s, TR6060s, T56s. You name it. You want a badass trans? That's the go-to guy, period. Everybody else just copies his stuff. Rami Zaidan, Toyota Solutions, the ZR1 sponsor, literally my ZR1 sponsor, getting it done in Puerto Rico. I'm trying to get him hooked up with Alec Bledsoe, see if they can do some business. PMAS, Nick James, PMAS, nothing today. We're good, because that literally made my head hurt when people were asking for tracking numbers 2 hours after the show ended. Nick James at PMAS, thank you very much. Parts Farm, partsfarm.com. They have 3 2020 GT500s that are going to part out. Like, I wish I can get, like, the DCT and engine to... Actually, I don't care about the DCT. I just want the motor. And Don't Got Cookies, _LLC, we're doing a giveaway to anybody for coffee and cookies. So that one is up for grabs for anybody. Everyone else, when it comes to the Lund Racing hat that I'm going to give away as a prize, the DNA High Performance hat that I'm going to give away as a prize. Sorry. The Ultimate Header clamps that I'm going to give away as a prize. I'll show you how these guys work. Really cool stuff. And then the Oh My God cookies and coffee we'll get after. Let's say hi to the people. We'll talk a little bit about what the Darkhorse has to run to impress us, the people that know what's happening in the Mustang game. 2000 MCR Douche did it. The Wolf, Gallo Bravo, Andrew Stotts. Valley 10 speed literally ran his car almost to the ground. The guy raced everyone and anyone that wanted it. Not many people wanted it. A stock motor ESS car with a G4 was scaring people in California. Could you imagine? Paul Ponthieu, Monty Rogers, 1Slow50. Yeah, buddy. Sixes. Nathan Clogg, Andy Ali, Killa, the Wolf. Got coffee today. Want to thank EPA and Melissa. Aroma Free Coffee. The aroma of free coffee and perfume of the cookies purchased was intoxicating. Monty Rogers. Brian 03 Cobra at Second Shift Racing. What's up, Second Shift? Good video on the Cobra. Go to Second Shift Racing's YouTube channel, guys. Let's get them likes up and watch the Cobra make a bunch of runs. Killa, I'm Hung So Low. JD Swag, TJ Sikorsky, Louie, TJ Sikorsky again. David Padilla. What's up, brother? Devin Marth, Monty Rogers, Vic. Jason and Josh Roy, what's up, brother? Monty Rogers again, Angel Porrico, Blake Bailey, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Jerry, Mark, Nardi Mercado, Mark again, Matt 760, what's up, brother? Hello, good morning. GMSRT is in the house. Kami Commenter, Turbo Diesel, Whippled 50, Moo Mustang, John DiNapoli, Wayno, Jam, Half Bolted On, JP, Tony El Tigre, Bondolbird, Missing a Shift, in California. I guess he's going G101 because he definitely doesn't want to miss a shift. Is that still H pattern? Bryson Whip. Ben Cal paying $250 for MT82s. Got my check today. Send him cores. That's right. If you guys have cores, busted ass MT82s, broken ass crap, he'll give you $250. Christian Green, Scooby, Corey, Mr. King, Jerry Giovanni, Turbo Windsor, and Huncho James. 1 of 1 says, what up? So thank you, Lex Luthor, for catch the replay. Again, guys, if you want to be eligible to get 3 prizes today, we're giving away a Lund Racing hat. Not giving away. Prizes are Lund Racing hat, a DNA high performance hat, ultimate header clamps, and I'll show you how they work real quick. So imagine you're putting your exhaust together, and one side is your collector. Let's get it. Let's say this side is your collector where the O2 is, and this side is the H pipe. Well, you take this clamp off. All right. And basically, right here, just comes apart like a little hook. This guy keeps everything together. Think of it as like a V-band. And this is your collector side, right, with the O2. And this is your H-pipe side. And you have this little piece in the middle. And what it does is you can put it together. And any slight misalignment, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And the clamp actually does the work to keep these guys together. Again, this is for people that work on their stuff, if they have like a custom application, or if they just want to have a nifty way of holding together their exhaust. This is the way to do it. And a bolt goes through the part that I'm holding right here. And that's how it is. And these are not cheap. So I'm giving a set of these away. These are 2.5 inch. So if you are doing any exhaust work anytime soon, you are eligible to get this if you are a member. So I'll be giving that away to a member today. Hopefully that doesn't fall apart and make a bunch of clanging noise. It's about to. Alex, be careful. There we go. All right. So what does the Darkhorse have to run in order for it to impress us? Thank you again, GMSRT. Give me money. Give me money is the way to my heart. What does the Darkhorse have to run? Honestly, the GT350 ran 1170s bone stock. And that is a terrible transmission, an engine that made no torque, a clutch that was smaller than the GT's clutch, but it still ran 11.7. Like, it was legit. Now, GTs that were 10R80, because you have to do an apples to apples comparison. GTs that were 10R80 were low 12s, but the manuals were stuck in the 12s forever, mid to high 12s, because of the gearing. Now, the 3160 trans is going to end up in the Darkhorse and the GT, the same exact trans. And it is weaker. Maybe it's a little stronger than the GT350 3160, but it's not as good as the MT82. It's not as robust. So what does the Darkhorse have to run to impress us? It's got to be in the 11s stick. 10R80, completely different thing. Whatever. Now, if you were to tell me, Alex, what's better? I saw somebody asking me, what do you think is better, a GT350 or a Darkhorse? By a mile, the GT350. The GT350 has a better motor. You are 10 PSI away from 800 horsepower on the 85. It has a dual pump fuel system. You're literally 1,000cc injectors, twin boosted pumps, and boost away from 800 rear wheel horsepower, 8,200 RPM shifts. Insane handling at the track, especially if you had the track package. If you had the tech package, it was still good. But you will never outdrive the GT3. Hell, most of you won't outdrive the GT performance package. Someone said that the regular GT still gets the MT82. If that's the case, I stand corrected because I'm not always right. But if the Mach 1 is any indicator, because why would a Mach 1 get a 3160 when it's basically a GT? Like, what is the thought process of Ford saying GT MT82, a better trans, and the Mach 1 and Darkhorse get, the Mach 1 because the Darkhorse is gone, but let's just keep it to 21 to 23. That's when the Mach 1 generation came in of the S650 stuff. Why did they go 3160 on that transmission and not MT82? Like, I need to know the thought process. But if you were to put my money, GT350 or Darkhorse, a 19 to 20 GT350 by far makes the Darkhorse, makes the cut over the Darkhorse. Now, since the GT350 is gone, they're not going to put the GT350 up against a Darkhorse because it's literally fighting each other. Like, I argue that the people that are going to buy a GT are going to potentially modify a non-performance package GT. Let's say you get a non-performance, because let's be honest, a lot of you, when you bought the Gen 3 Mustang, you bought it because of the dash. Look at that dash, right? Dumb motherfuckers. But then you guys got over that dash because it wasn't that special. And then you wanted just the performance of the car. The 10R80 that a lot of you NA guys loved. And the engine is still robust. 12-to-1 compression made good power. So a lot of base guys got wheels, boost, and they were destroying cars that were a higher tier price. Like a lot of... Do you fear a GT350 out and about on a roll race? Or do you fear a 10R80 that's probably gutted or has twin turbos and is going to run a deep 4-second or even high 3-second pass 60 to 130? Nobody looks at a GT350 unless it says 1400R on it from Fat House. Like, nobody even looks at a GT350 and fear it unless it has a Whipple sticker, unless it has a Hellion sticker, unless it has something to make you fear it. And not many GT350s make you fear anything in the modified world. Again, we live in the modified world. We don't live in the stock world. Unfortunately, the new up-and-coming Mustang, if, and again, guys, this is a big if it stays untunable, I foresee it going the way of the C8. Where a couple of people will clout chase, some people that have access to the calibration, Whipple, Livernoise, Roush, they'll put their specialty packages on it. But above and beyond that, unless they open up the tuning, it's going to go the way of the C8, where aesthetics, wheels, louvers, I don't know, some kind of luggage rack on top of it so you can go skiing, like really dumb mods that has nothing to do with performance. And the people that are going to do the best at modifying those vehicles are people that like the aftermarket, like American Muscle, Cervinis, Steeda, with suspension packages, because that's what Steeda does, right? Steeda doesn't sell power packages. They sell suspension packages, and that is their wheelhouse. That they're going to do well. I guarantee Steeda's going to go, let's get this Darkhorse for $70,000. And, put some suspension on it. And that's what they should do, because in my opinion, Steeda makes the best suspension for S550s, period. The fastest and quickest GT5 Mustangs have Steeda suspension, period. It's not even close. But anyway, I think the Darkhorse has to run an equal or better number to a GT350, and if it doesn't, it's a failure. It's a failure because if you can't tune it and all you can do is shove a Whipple on it with Whipple's tune that has emissions-friendly stuff. Oh, by the way, good luck with catalytic converters lasting a long time with any aftermarket supercharger. Even the Corvette catalytic converters look like they started to kind of like crinkle on the outside, and that was on stock boost, but it did have a decent amount of miles. So I foresee a lot of Darkhorses, a lot of Mustangs that have a aftermarket, sanctioned tune, Roush, Whipple, and maybe Livernoise and other people like that. 10 PSI on an 11 or 12-to-1 motor. You hope those cats are going to live a long time. Your back bumper is going to be black because the cap protection is going to be stupid aggressive with 55-pound injectors. Oh my God. The power output of that is going to be the same as it's been since Coyotes came out. 650 to 700 rear wheel horsepower. That's it. That's what you got to live with. Alex, I sent the paid question. Congratulations, GMSRT. You know what that means? I appreciate it. It does not guarantee, I repeat, if you are sending paid questions for a guaranteed reply, you're doing it wrong. I love you. I'm riffing. I'm going at it. If you send a comment saying, by the way, I sent you a paid question, you owe me, I don't. I love you. I'll get to it when I get to it. Thanks for getting the Rev Hang issue fixed today. Lund for the win with the Darkhorse logo. And that's what I might do today. The prize might go to someone that has a Darkhorse logo, that means you've been here the longest if you have a Darkhorse logo. I can't be too mad at the price of a Darkhorse when German manufacturers have gotten people used to paying $100,000 for 500 horsepower. But you got to understand, build SZN, it is not German quality. Do you think the Darkhorse is going to have German quality? Now I get it. Not every German car has awesome quality. But typically, when you get in a German car, it's a completely different experience. Drop the like, it'll catch replay later. We'll give one go soon and see what we can do with the turd. Another disappointment from Ford, though, in my opinion. John Lucas, I appreciate that because you work for a company that matters, Fat House Fab. So at the end of the day, if someone from Fat House Fab is saying, I'm a little disappointed because it isn't so badass, but you have to go after the specialty market, right, John Lucas? You guys as Fat House Fab, your wheelhouse is the specialty high-end Mustang. And if the Shelby name goes away, and that carries a ton of weight, the Shelby name carries a car. Just because it says Shelby on it, people will buy it. So now they might be stuck with the last generation GT500. I think this S650 variant, I don't know how long that body will last, but I can't imagine that the GT500 will ever be made in a gas-powered form after this body. I think it'll go the way of the Dodge, where they're going to stop meowing at each other at a light. Like rawr, rawr, again, rawr. Here we go, GM. Alex, I'm new to Mustangs. I hear the 350s are amazing. I was considering selling my 15 Hellcat for a boosted 350. Want to build one? Any advice? So, absolutely. If you want a lighter vehicle that has probably one of the better engines ever made by Ford, but be very careful, GMSRT. You got to understand the GT350s have a very robust engine and it makes really good power. No, I'm sorry. It has a very powerful engine, but the early GT350s, 16 to 18, if I'm not mistaken, had oil consumption issues, and some of them just didn't last all that long, and some of them shook themselves to death. If you ever get in a GT350, this is the first thing you're going to notice above and beyond your Hellcat. Zero torque. I'm telling you, nothing happens until 4,000 RPMs. So you got to understand, you got to drive the vehicle a little differently. GMSRT. You got to be above in the power band like a two-stroke. You got to be up there. And if you're not up there, don't expect any power, even with boost. But if you can get your hands on a 19 or 20 GT350 with, let's say, a Whipple or an ESS or a Odin from VMP, it will change your life as to the power delivery all the way up to 8,000 RPMs. It's nuts. How many of them have made their way to Australia? Not many. I'm not going to ship anything to Australia. Screw that. USA only. I sent the paid question on Sunday and I'm still waiting for it. Someone says, ignore my comment. Alex, I sent the paid chat last year. Can you please look it up? If he doesn't reply to paid question, just send another one until he does. Ignore this. I'll be hunting for Darkhorses in my E85 2020 GT for half the price. Had to flex on the poors in the chat. See what happens when people get on my case about not answering questions? I make more money. I appreciate that very much. Pretty sure German cars are still tunable too. Now, there was a video. Can anyone here, and again, not Instagram, put a link in the chat. There was a guy on YouTube admitting that all BMW computers are unlocked by some Russian hacker. Like, I was mind blown that this guy was on camera saying this. I was like, the self-snitch Olympic gold winner is, and this guy, if I could find the video, I'm like, oh my God, dude. This guy was like, yeah, I send all my computers to Russia to get unlocked by this Russian guy. And then they come back and then I can tune it. Shh. There's probably a trade embargo in place. There's probably sanctions in place. Please, 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 please. Do not self-snitch. He is going to get a knock on the door. And the video had like 100,000 views. And he was just saying it all willy-nilly. Sometimes you don't have to, talk about your accomplishments. You're literally saying, hey, I'm going to go out there and tell people what I'm doing. I am trading with a company we are currently putting sanctions on. They're located in that country. And he says all BMWs, computers, newer ones, 2020 and up, are unlocked by a Russian hacker. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm not even going to play his videos, but build, yes, they are. Build SZN. This guy is saying They are. Imagine you're like,
I like to fuck
I
him in the
shot
head while you
Pookie.
beat up the pussy.
Fuck it. I shot Pookie. Hey, you know, I rolled up on the homie. He was wearing the champion shirt. I shot him in the back and he. What are you doing? Why are you making lyrics? Why are you making lyrics telling motherfuckers what you're doing? EPA is gonna get up in them guns. My God. This self-snitch Olympics winner, I'm not gonna put him on, but all you have to do is check BMW tuning keywords. And this guy was like, yeah, I sent it to Vasily over. And by the way, one time it almost got stuck over there. And I'm like, oh, shut up. Holy shit, shut up, dude. Mind blown if he doesn't go to jail. Mind blown if he doesn't go to jail. Unreal. The driver mod Russian BMW ECU unlock is verified. I know several Supras in the late model BMWs that have sent theirs, but people need to hush. At the risk of being ran over here, I have my fingers crossed that the tuning miraculously will be figured out for the Darkhorse sooner than later. Predator rods and crank should make some spice with boost. Tell me how much is it going to make above and beyond what a GT can make right now, Tristan? Tristan, tell me how much a GT right now can make with boost. Right now. What do you want? 1,300 horse? Your car's going to blow up at 1,000, son. Right now, I got 30 or 40 customers. Stock complete motor with boost makes 1,000. What the hell else do you want on top of that? 1,100? 1,200? After 800, you barely can use it, bro. That guy's gonna end up in the Russian lake, right? I don't even want to do that. Here we go, Christian. I'm just gonna put up what Christian said. I was blown away that guy would. I was blown away that guy would say that. Oh, 82Z28 says to Moo Mustang, flex harder, dropping $50 on the chat. You ain't got it. Alex, I don't have a question. Please carry on with the show. So, imagine I say, oh yeah, you know how I get it right? You know how I get around Ford's computer? And then you make a rap song about it. I ship it to Russia. The guy's in the back. I imported the binary, and then I did that. You could tell my what do you call my flow is very 80s. It ain't no Big Daddy Kane, but you know what I'm saying. What's up, Eddie? Says hi, Alex. Double the intakes mean double the power. My Darkhorse can do 150 mile an hour. Darahel did Jesus said I sent you a request on Facebook. Bro, that shit is in my requests, and I'm never, ever gonna see it. So imagine someone would say that. A country we're basically in a proxy war with. Oh, by the way, I sent ECUs over there and puts it on YouTube. There's a self-snitch lawyer. Which one is the self-snitch lawyer? Self-snitch lawyer. Like, remember that song, Who I Smoke? Like, remember the song, Who I Smoke? And he was basically naming the people he smoked, where and when, and was it on his birthday and all this stuff. Jacksonville rappers. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Darkhorse is $65,000. RCF starts at $47,000. Although aftermarket isn't as big. Is it still tunable? Sad that the V8 rear-wheel drive coupe from Lexus sounds more appealing. Right. Let's put it out there. Forget Chevy, because you have Ford. You have put yourself in a higher price range. So now people that can afford a Darkhorse or a premium GT are going to go, wait a minute. Nissan has a 370 or something like that, or a Z. I don't even know what they call it anymore. Lexus has some badass V8 cars. I mean, like, I'm going to start looking at cars that are $50,000, $60,000 import cars, Supras, not necessarily V8s, but they're tunable. I can tune them right now. Like right now. I can tune these cars right now and make more power and run faster. Why buy a Darkhorse? Forget Chevy. Chevy's gone. The Camaro's done. The C8, not tunable. Period. Don't care how many twin turbo kits you guys see clout chasers put on their cars. They are not able to be tuned properly unless you have two Fuel Tech computers, according to Alec Bledsoe of Late Model Performance. So the Mustang is now competing with cars that are import, higher quality, because you and I both know the amount of recalls happening at Ford is not all of a sudden going to come to an end. That quality, that build quality, once they start producing them in the assembly line by union workers, you're going to start seeing the lack of quality control show up. And I guarantee one of the first things that is going to go wrong is the tablets. That's right. The 2 Samsung tablets that read out your data is going to be a problem. Grandfather flow in the house. That's right. Jason. Alex is a 2,000 horsepower car, daily, reliable. Oh my God. Shout out to whoever runs a YDBT page on TikTok. Nobody. Hopefully you get some more views. There's a couple of videos with over 100,000 views. I have no idea. It makes no money. It makes me no money. But if people are driven to my page because of that TikTok page, I appreciate it very much. A lot of things to clip. Does the Gen 3 Coyote have restrictive fuel rails? Yes, it does. The Gen 3 Coyote, even with a CJ, starts to see a certain amount of issue with the fuel rail, and you start to see a bank-to-bank discrepancy with fueling. The Darkhorse is just a dolled up GT350R for the win. What do you think about Key and Peele's skit called Rap Confessions? I don't watch the show all that much, so I don't know. I know. My turd did blow up just under 1,000, but you probably don't remember. I don't. The old Roush blower with nitrous trying to get the verified 8-second slip. Now we're doing turbo things. I understand, but people I think don't understand that the Darkhorse is going to be limited to the exact same horsepower that Gen 2s and Gen 3s are limited to. 900 or so, and reliability starts to drop off. Like, do you know that people are still buying? Do you know? Well, no. GMSRT, you're wrong. You're wrong. Unless you're talking about old stuff. See, he says there's just no point of getting a Camaro when Corvettes exist. If you're talking C7 and C6, yes, I agree with you. If you're talking about new shit, you can't tune C8s. But I understand what you're saying if it's C7 and C8 shit. So a lot of people that are doing the swap game, and Garage Build Coyote might, he's got a Coyote swap. Coyote swapped 66 or 65 with Bud Light cans as a cold air. So we know that's the gayest cold air intake ever made. Hey, yo. They're opting for the Gen 3 because it makes power NA and it's a little cheaper. But you don't understand. The aftermarket is not as robust for the Gen 3 as it is the Gen 2. The Gen 2 is insanely available. The Gen 2, if you're playing the dress-up game, because a lot of people don't mod their car for power. But you can't do anything. You can't do anything with a Gen 3 to dress up the engine bay. He says, check it out. It's called YOLO D-Bag TV, has 1 million views. Again, I don't have TikTok. I'll go to TikTok on the browser, but okay, TikTok. I hate that I even have to go to TikTok. Boosted Lucky. Like, there's no money to be made on TikTok. It funnels people here. That's what it does. I'm not going to sign up.
You follow me while I'm live? This sound will...
Oh, my God. What the hell? YOLO D-Bag TV. D-Bag TV. I don't run it. And if he makes money, he better give it to me. D-Bag. He doesn't make any money, I don't think. 41,900 followers. 1.5 million likes, not views. 1.5 million likes. The last video he uploaded was think twice before you buy. What the hell? That's old, isn't it? First 18 Mustang I had, the motor was 1 day ago. Okay. And then they put it on the lot and sold it again. So and then the guy who bought it tried to... Yeah, so basically, he's been posting videos. Good, I appreciate that. Look, I appreciate anybody that takes my content, flips it around a little bit. So if you guys want to go on TikTok and whatever and support the dude, cool. I'm not getting a dime from it, so, check it out. I don't do TikTok because it's Chinese propaganda, and I don't mess with it at all. So, no thank you. I'm going to skip on that one. Thank you very much. But, hey, if he wants to promote my stuff, I appreciate it. Because once in a while, you see the subscribers do jump up. People will be watching their anime on the Darkhorse tablets. Super Saiyan. Apparently, if you switch and start talking about Camaros, you'll have Bud Light sponsorships. Now, a lot of people all of a sudden were like, oh my God, Alex, you're a Chevy guy now. No, I get it. I bought a Cadillac Escalade and a Corvette. I needed an SUV that was a V8. Ford does not offer that. I got a crazy opportunity to buy a ZR1 at a crazy price. It's probably the cheapest ZR1 I could find with that mileage at 40,000 miles. So what would you expect to buy How much would you expect to spend for a 40,000 mile ZR1 in that condition? Boosted Lucky dropped the video showing the car getting stolen. At first, I thought it was fake, but I think it's legit. So the Whipple, I want to talk a little bit more about the Whipple stuff with the Darkhorse. So has anyone here, put a 1 in the chat if anybody here has had a vehicle with a Whipple tune on it before you got it custom tuned. And tell me what the difference was between a Whipple tune and a Lund tune or any aftermarket tune. Because a lot of the times what's going to happen is this. You're going to get bored of the power, the torque reduction, and the trans tuning. I love them. I love the people at Whipple. I don't think the trans tuning is even close when it comes to what Lund can do. Based on what we know, based on all the R&D we've done, based on everything we've done, there is not that much different between a stock calibration tune than, let's say, Whipple, Roush. It's still soft. The torque reduction is still very much interrupting in between the shifts. And it's that way for warranty purposes. Like, it's that way for absolute warranty purposes, because they're going to give you 650 horsepower on the rollers. But if you go to the track, the torque reduction is going to kill you on the shifts. No matter what you do, maybe aside from disabling the ABS sensor, there is probably going to be some kind of interruption or torque reduction in between the shifter. And if wheel spin is picked up, it throttles it way back. I remember when I drove a stock Roush RS3, I did a 1-2 shift with advanced track off, and it still shut the throttle. I went, what the hell is this? Why would I? So people would say it makes 630 horsepower with a stock Roush calibration Gen 2. Cool. But a NAGT that knows how to drive with grippy tires is probably going to beat that car on the quarter mile because of the torque reduction. Now, a lot of people don't understand when I say torque reduction. You could call it torque management in the Chevy world. Torque reduction means just that. Reduces torque. So when torque reduction is active, it takes away torque so that it makes the shift either feel smoother or less clunky in between the shifts. So when you get into a Roush RS3 2017 and you go 1-2 with advanced track off, it ain't gonna blaze the tire. It ain't gonna blaze no tire. No, you have to disable the ABS pigtail in the firewall for it to have everything uninterrupted. It's crazy to me. Whipple be spying on Alex's TikToks. Only turvy tunes for my ESS. Never went straight to Lund. Tristan Mazzone. Alex probably paid sub 60s for the ZR1. Yep, absolutely. And the guy was a friend of Lund Racing. And he's like, I've heard you talking about ZR1s. And I'm like, I don't need a car, but when else am I going to have the opportunity to buy a car from a known person that Lund Racing is friendly with, that took care of the vehicle and gave me a very honest price? He even told me how much he owed on it, how much he bought it for, and how much work went into it. By the way, Kong shipped me the blower. I can't wait to show you guys that blower. The porting, the snout. Corvette's going to be down for a little bit while I get everything sorted. I got to buy a cold air, so I got to hit up Kong for a cold air and get it on the road. And it's going to be a long time tuning it. I'm going to tune it, and then get it on the dyno once she's ready. And it's going to live on Sunoco 260 GT because it's now going to be on an export Kong blower, 102 throttle body, big Kong CAI, bigger snout, 2.3 pulley. So it's probably going to make 17, 18, maybe 19 pounds of boost. Felt lazy through the shift, right? No Lund tune available. It was different platform, but it was comparable to going from the Roush tune to a Lund file, 15 night and day. So correct. A lot of people don't know why we don't support the Roush Gen 3 platform. And a lot of people, and understandably, I get it. It was just a dud from the get-go. And I was blown away that people were still buying it. Like, you have the Edelbrock supercharger. You have Odin, Loki, Whipple, ESS, Vortec Paxton Pro Charger. And you chose a Roush supercharger above all those. I literally don't understand why they did that. I get it. It's supercharger, TVS. It was a dud. So we made a proactive decision at the time. We didn't really mess with HP tuners in that platform. We're like, no, we're not going to support it. Because what do we have to do in order to support a vehicle platform? Number one, volume. We make money based on volume. So if there are 300 Roush cars on the planet versus 15,000 GTs on the planet, which one do you think we're going to make more money on? Making a special tune for, like right now, we support EcoBoost trucks. Bro, we never get EcoBoost truck tunes. Never. We didn't even get truck tunes at all. And other tuners were like, yeah, they were comfortable. A lot of tuners were like this. Yeah, Lund doesn't fuck with F-150s. We're good. And then Midnight Performance started saying, hey, you guys want to mess with trucks? And wouldn't you know it, in less than a year, we became the best at the truck game. F-150 8-cylinder. Unreal. Whipple or Kenny Bell, I would never... look, I know Kenny Bell is now owned by AccuFab, and I like Mahovitz, but unless I see a product that is totally different, like Mahovitz, have you done anything to Kenny Bell to better their product? Do you guys make anything for Gen 3? Do you care to make anything for Gen 3? Did you just buy the product to support Legacy GT500, 11 to 17 Mustang, 11 to 17 Mustang, and 07 to 14 GT500? Like, that's the game? The 2020 GT500 Kenny Bell blower, I think I saw a picture of it. It looked like, no offense, like Turvey built it. And I don't know if that was a byproduct of Mahovitz or the previous owner. But my God, Kenny Bell, don't get me wrong. Their superchargers, they're 3.4, whatever. They're 3.5 liters and up, are badass. I'm not going to lie. They are badass. But they're not any more badass than Whipples of the same size or TVSs of similar liters or output. So, you know, I think Kenny Bell just didn't keep up with the Joneses, didn't keep up with the times, didn't really support the new stuff, and they went away. Where now ESS, and I love you guys, and maybe you guys think I'm dick riding. My tuning queue, there are more, listen to this, ESS cars than NA cars. So if I have 70 guys on a revolving thing, ESS has been so aggressive with their Mustang platform that is basically most of the stuff I do. I do tons of turbo stuff. I do a lot of Whipple F-150 stuff. But when it comes to 15 to 2023, ESS is literally the main supercharger of choice. And how can you root against them when Valley 10 Speed is out there with a G4 making, I'm not going to say how much power he made, but it's turbo horsepower. Listen to me. Turbo. Big boy stuff. It was nuts. Imagine what the parasitic loss, how much power it takes to drive that blower. Add that on top. Oof, crazy. Whipple said they were going to have one throttle body, but the engine has two throttle bodies, two carbon traps. How did they get around deleting emissions item? Garage Build Coyote. They have the KISS. They have a carb EO number. They have a KISS. What they have to do, manufacturers like Whipple, Roush, and everyone else that has a carb EO kit, which carb to me is so fucking stupid. One state should not dictate everything the rest of the states do. That's why everyone is leaving that state. Has a negative number for population year over year, whereas Florida just keeps more and more and more and more. Dana White said it best. Miami is like LA 10 years ago right now. Popping, food, restaurants, 1 a.m, things are happening all the time. If you've ever gone to Miami, and I'm saying Brickell, downtown, you go to South Beach, I'm saying if you like the nightlife, it is ridiculous right now, okay? So, CARB should not have a say in what the rest of the states do, but for whatever reason they do. So what they do is they go in front of the board or whatever, and they say, "Here, we want to make this supercharger CARB EO legal." So what they do is they get their throttle body, and then they get their own cold air that has a carbon trap on it, and they do proper testing, proper vetting, and then they get a CARB EO number, meaning, or a CARB EO certification for that part. And now they're CARB compliant. That's just how it works. Now, is there payola involved? Is there any kind of, here's some money, look the other way? I don't know. But I don't know how VMP takes forever to get one because they don't have the connections. They're not in California. Whipple is. Roush is a huge, massive manufacturing facility. So they have the means, the money, the capital to go and do the testing and the vetting on their product to become CARB compliant. So when you see a guy selling a cold air that literally looks like was made in someone's garage, you know that is not a CARB compliant part. You know all the EPA has to do is find his website if he's making a decent profit and shut them down. It's pretty straightforward. Are any ESS cars in the 8s? That's the next threshold that has to be met. And the reason they're not in the 8s, the Fitness Life, is because I don't think they configure the car properly. So ESS cars mostly are roll race cars or half mile cars. These guys do 60 to 130, and I have 20 or so that are in the 460, 470 range. Okay, I have about 20. Me. Never mind Brandon, Dakota, Junior, and once in a while, Nardi throws a tune here and there. So if I know of 20 or so that I have tuned that have been in the 4s, 60 to 130, I know for a fact those cars can go 8s in the quarter mile. The problem is this. They got to do a trans brake, they got to do a converter, and they got to leave at a high RPM to get that sucker going. So if someone is willing to go 8s, but the problem is this, a lot of guys just take a stock converter, no trans brake, and they foot brake with a Whipple or a Loki all the way to the 8s without having to do any trans brake or converter stuff. And they save about $3,000 in labor and parts and less wear and tear because foot brake is just easier on parts than trans brake is. LA is a GTA server, literally. I'm waiting for the ESS for my S197. They told me a couple of weeks ago, about 75% done with the S197 kit. Second Shift Raid says, 2000 to 2010 was Ken Bell's prime era. They're long overdue for revision. Exactly. Look, I didn't like Kenny Bell because I worked at VMP. And you got to understand, that's what you do. Like right now, I work for Lund, right? Right now, I work for Lund. And if whoever else tunes Coyotes can suck my fat nuts because I push the people I work for. So when I worked for VMP, I used my reach to push the product because that's what you do as a good employee. Now that I don't work there anymore, I still push a certain product, and it is the 2.3 liter Gen 2R. And on GT500s, I still think the 2650 is one of the better blowers out there, period. But when it comes to Loki and Odin and all that stuff, y'all can keep that. ESS did a hostile takeover of the S550 platform. I don't know how they did it. Like, their marketing was excellent. You don't see them all over the place. Their group is small. Their page is small. They just went out there and were aggressively pricing their product. And remember when a certain other person was saying, it's junk, it's junk, it's junk. It is literally taken over the S550 platform. Like, just took it over. ESSs are everywhere. And guess what's going to happen in about 5 or 6 years? There's going to be used ESS kits everywhere. The market is going to be flooded. So, in my opinion, if you want to get an ESS kit and you want to go racing one day and stock bottom end, G3X is plenty. If you're looking to send it, get the G4. And that thing will make enough power. It is light. It took a dumbass like me 6 to 7 hours to install it, tune it, running myself. And I'm a dumbass. So I think they did a really smart thing. I don't know how they did it, but they did a really good job. Whether it was giving away the kits to certain people, whether it was marketing by Instagram, they did such a wonderful job of pushing that product. Maybe, I don't know if I pushed it that much, but if anything, I nudged it over the top, but it was already on the way up. I didn't really have to do much to push the product. It was doing really well. Jay Walker, I'm looking forward to seeing the head-to-head Darkhorse versus 2023 M2 track and drag. That's going to be a matchup. Hey, Alex, Gen 1 car, Luntune, won't allow crank relearn, even with IDS. Need a revision? Thanks. Cooter's Performance Garage. We are living in an era of tuning where 2020 was the peak. 2020, the last year these guys were made new. That was the peak. Peak era tuning, 2020. After that, we went back to the dark ages. Hell, you might as well have chip burners again, because now the newest software, although convenient, can be flashed on your phone, has a host of issues that have to be fixed. Number one, let's say you're at a track. And you know how awesome the signal is at a track? You know how awesome the cell signal is at a track in an event? Let's say you're at Streetcar Takeover. Let's say you're at NMRA. Let's say you're at FL2K. Let's say you're at Texas 2K. You know how awesome the cell signal is at a track? It is deplorable. It is garbage. Zero. Well, guess what you need to flash your vehicle now? A Wi-Fi signal. Anyway. So then when you flash your vehicle, bam, P0315 code comes up. What does that mean? It means you need a crank relearn. So you go to your software and you go, hey, it doesn't have a crank relearn feature. I'm not responsible for that. My responsibility is to send you a tune. If it needs a crank relearn after a tune is flashed, this guy can do it. An SCTX4 can do it. A Ford IDS tool can do it. But your app on the phone can't do it. So I'm sorry. You don't need a revision. What you need is to find a friend with an SCTX4 or find a friend with a Lund Racing Engage and attempt a crank relearn that way. I'm sorry to have to say that, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. You have to find a friend with a SCTX4, a Lund Racing Engage, or a friend with a Ford IDS tool. And he has to perform a crank relearn that way. If the IDS tool cannot recognize it because the tune is encrypted, hit up the people that manufacture your tuning device. Flood their ticket system, escalate everything, and make sure that they know that you are not happy with the fact that a simple crank relearn can't be done. Speaking of 2650, once GT500 is back together, are you still going to go with the 4.5 Whipple versus 2650 comparison? Yes. Forgive me if that ship has sailed. Just curious. No, yes, that is my goal. The problem is this. Now that it's going to be 12-to-1 compression, that's going to be a hard test for the VMP blower to win. This is why. I can get about 20 PSI out of the current blower at a 2.4 pulley, and it's going to make 1,100 through a manual, maybe 1,200 through a manual. Then 20 PSI with a 4.5 liter Whipple is just going to make similar, if not more power with better IATs. Maybe. But that comparison, people like Bondo Bird helped me out with it, and I appreciate him. He got me pulleys and stuff. It might be met with some scrutiny because it's not an apples to apples. It's a 2650 spinning at whatever it needs to spin at to make 20 pounds of boost. So 2.4 upper. And then I'm going to take a 4.5 liter Whipple, put a pulley on it like a 4-inch, so it makes 20 PSI, and it still might make 1,200. And just based on sheer volume. Now, the torque is probably going to be the telling sign. If the VMP blower makes more torque off the hit, that will let me front half better. But if it makes too much torque off the hit, I think the Whipple spinning the rotor slower and having more top end horsepower will be better for traction and trap speed. But we'll see. Look, this is what needs to happen with the GT500. And let's be honest, get me some comparison stuff. Give me an 8-second pass, and it needs to leave my life. I've had a couple of people hit me up on email asking for trades, and I would love to trade that car for $60,000. That's what I'd like to trade it for. I had a guy hit me up with a very interesting combo, and I was like, well, it's going to be your car and a decent amount of cash. But I understand I don't want to offend him because the car that he has is pretty unique. But the problem is it's so unique that I probably won't be able to resell it if I have to. Whereas an 8,000-mile Shelby GT500, that's Kona Blue, Deep Impact Blue, is a pretty good get if the price is right. I just had the same problem with the crank wheeler and after the Lund tune. The biggest headache, but luckily I finally found someone with an SETX4 and finally fixed it. Department of Boost kit on my 5.0 at 10 PSI is still on the stock 12 GT500 intake. Do you think there's much to gain with a new intake or should I just leave it alone? If you get a PMAS 120 over the 110mm 12 GT500 intake, I think you'll make a good amount of boost and a bigger throttle body. I don't know if you have a twin 60mm throttle body, but I would definitely upgrade to at least a twin 65 CJ with a PMAS 120. Alex, you should rent out your N gauges. Alex, do you think a GT500 blower is too much for a Gen 1 F-150 motor Mustang cams? As long as you keep boost moderate. Now, there's a bunch of different blowers. Are you saying 2020 GT500 blower? Are you saying M122? Are you saying 2.3 TVS? You got to be a little more specific. Section hate is going to rip. I hope so. What up, cuz? GMSRT, have you ever owned a GT350? Alex, no, but I've driven a bunch of different combos. I've driven Whipple GT350s. I've driven NA GT350s on the 85. I've driven Nitrous GT350s. And I've driven Whipple, Nitrous, NA, and Twin Turbo. And the most impressive was Twin Turbo. Like, by far. I'm sorry. A Hellion-equipped sleeper, a GT350 with a twin turbo Hellion sleeper kit with small turbos, 50 something millimeter, was dumb. It was so quick. But again, it's a roll car. The GT350 should never be a dig car. In my opinion, same as a ZR1. My ZR1, I will never try to max effort run it. If I do, it'll be like a 9-second car, but it's mostly like a half-mile roll car. You know, like 40 to 140, 40 to 150, 50 to 150, 60 to 160. That's what, in my opinion, the ZR1 is best for based on the gearing and just cruise and stunt. But the GT350 is in a similar boat. But I honestly, for my money, a twin turbo GT350 might donkey stomp a similarly equipped ZR1. It just makes so much power. It just keeps revving. So twin turbos, let's say a 2019 twin turbo GT350 or a Whipple GT350 at like 15 PSI. My Lord, deadly fast. E85 always. Yes, 2020. It's a 2650 blower. So if you're going to put a 2650 blower from Eaton from a 2020 GT500 in an F-150 motor, keep it at 10 PSI. Keep it at 10 PSI. That's like a 92 millimeter upper pulley. I'm going to go from 1.760 foot to a 1.360 foot. Do you think I'll clip a bottom 9 or high 8 from that? Car Trap 148 last year, 9.8 with a 1.760 foot. Dude, you're cutting 4/10 off of your 60 foot, which makes your 330 that much quicker, your 8th that much quicker. Yeah, absolutely. If you went 9.8 with a 1.760 foot and you're cutting a 1.3 now, that car will be a 9.2, 9.1 car, especially at 148. SK Jeff says, should I trade my 22 Mach 1 and 18 built sleeved Odin for a 22 GT500 carbon fiber track pack? So, boy, neither of those cars that you have, the Mach 1 and the Odin 350, are drag cars. So the 22 carbon fiber track pack GT500 is a better vehicle out of those two. But damn, the Odin 350 is probably pretty nasty. I saw Shmi take his GT500 to the Nürburgring, and the car was flying. But I didn't like that it became unsettled at low-ish speeds. The carbon fiber track pack has really, really sticky tires. And if you take it to the road course once, bye-bye tires. They're gone. They're gone. It's such a heavy car that 3 or 4 laps at VIR, you are done. Like, get new tires in there, $1,000 or more. $2,000. So it all depends on what you want to do with the car. I think the Shelby GT500 carbon fiber track pack is a beautiful looking car. I would not pick that over a supercharged Shelby GT350. That one twin turbo 350 you drove sounded like a Subaru, was nasty. Elephant stomps are more better. Okay. Patiently waiting, but curious if you'll ever race Jake's truck with the ZR1 as is. If you haven't already. No, I have not. As is, Well, I can talk to him. I think he'll get me on the top end because the Corvette is very prone to heat soak. So the Corvette is only good when IATs are under 110. And it's getting hotter and hotter down here in Florida. And by the time June comes around, there's no reason to race. Jake's truck at 10 PSI is a 70669. All he has to do is turn it up to 11 or 12. I would say turn it up to whatever you want to turn it up. But it would be interesting to get my ass beat and then put the blower on and do a apples to apples. So, El Samcho, I'll talk to Jake about it. SK Jeff, get rid of the Mach 1 and keep the 350. The CFTP ain't worth the money unless you want to drag your bits with the carbon wheel. I agree. I honestly, if you're going to road race a car, the GT350 is just superior. If you supercharge your GT350, why get a carbon fiber track pack GT500 with a DCT? Unless you're going to road race it. At that point, I'd rather have a GT350. If you deleted the DI in a Gen 3 F-150, could you run a 2.3? Probably useless, but curious. I don't know because I don't even think it'll start without the DI. Like, there's been some people that have attempted to remove the DI, the pump and everything from a Gen 3. I don't know if many have had luck. Second Shift says, in our experience, 1/10 off of 60 translates to 2/10 by the finish line. Carcane Problem says, Alex, saw a video recently of a Roush Charge Gen 1 getting gapped by a supposedly max effort NA Gen 2. Is that remotely possible? Absolutely. 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 Roush Charge Gen 1s with a Roush tune are 12-second cars. We're talking torque reduction here. Roush supercharged Gen 1s with a Roush tune are 12-second cars. I'm thinking about getting a 2018 Mustang 5-liter, says Caden Dowdy. The 6.2-liter V8 version. Excuse me? What? I'm thinking about getting a 2018 Mustang 5.0, the 6.2-liter V8 version. I like the size of the 392 cubic inch engine. I think the Eaton supercharged gear for LS7. Okay, I think, Okay, he put a comma in there, so I think I read it as one run-on sentence, so I understand what he's saying. How does Sunoco 260 GT from pump gas or E85? Are there advantages for running it? 260 GT is 100 octane, but E85 will yield better cooling overall, meaning the car will just make more power. I'm not going to say IATs are better, but what I'm going to say is you're better off running E85 on a car than pump gas and nitrous for IAT purposes. And someone already did that test, did that comparison. So if I make, let's say, 700 rear-wheel horsepower on Sunoco 260 GT, which is a petroleum-based 100 octane fuel, I'd probably make another 20 horsepower on E85 just based off the cooling. What happened to your S650? Bro, where have you been? I sold that thing 2 months ago. It's gone. Jay Walker says the carbon fiber track pack needs Cup 2Rs. Better tire for its heavy weight and track use. Standard Cup 2 just evaporates at its weight. The man will be more fun on the track versus the DCT. The DCT is pretty deadly though. I'm not going to lie. The DCT is great for road race use. But there's just something about a manual. And let's say you have a GT350R. That's still a dream car. The GT350R. No radio ass having. No backseat ass having. Just bad. I don't know if they came at 2019, 2020 GT350Rs. Did they still offer a no radio, no rear seat option? My car will probably never see the Burger King, but it's definitely fun on some back roads. How are you liking the new tires on the ZR1? And the notch is killer. Keep the vids coming. Joe Jackson. So a lot of people said, Alex, you're going to have tons of tire noise with the R888s. All I hear is exhaust, guys. Like, I have long tube headers, free flowing exhaust, Borla muffler. That thing, I don't hear any road noise because all I hear is exhaust. Is there a twin turbo kit that you would recommend for a Gen 1? And would you recommend building a Gen 1 or swapping a Gen 2? I would build a Gen 2 over a Gen 1 if we're talking turbo stuff. If we're talking supercharged drag car stuff, I would do a Gen 1 over a Gen 2. But turbo stuff, I would do a Gen 2 over a Gen 1. If I was to recommend a turbo kit for a Gen 1, Hellions, believe it or not, is pretty good. And fluid turbo systems from Lund Racing. Believe it or not, a very good kit. It's just a lot of people configured it weird. A lot of people, and basically it's not a kit. It's a hot side basically, and you got to configure it your way. In my opinion, if I had a Gen 1 and I wanted to put a turbo kit on it, I'd get a fluid twin turbo kit, hot side, big air to air, configure it for about, 1,000 or 1,100 and be happy. But at that point, because 2650s make 1,100, I just get an 11. I just get a blower, in my opinion, at that point. I got a Fox question. How were the Powerdyne superchargers back in the day? Not sought after. Back in the day, in the 90s, it was Vortec. Vortec is a Fox body thing. Vortec did very well in the S650 and the Paxton and all that stuff and the S197. But the Vortec S trim with an FMU was like the thing to have back in the day. Powerdyne or Paxton Novi 1000s or 2000s weren't really popping back in the day. Vortex were. Alex, if you were getting a V3 for a daily driver, would you get it with or without the Recaro seats? With the Recaro seats. I wonder if Porsche's synthetic fit, don't care. My 17350R was the last model year with a factory radio delete. Got it. So 18, 19, 20 came with the radio. They all come with no receipts, but finding one with a radio AC delete are super hard to find. Those are so cool, but I need AC. I'm in Florida. Boost actuated cutouts or regular electronic cutouts for a turbo setup. Anyone have recommendations? California, so need the cutouts. Tanu Paji, just leave California. Be cheaper. If you're considering getting into a Hellcat, I'm here to answer your questions. LOL. But like I said, I'm trying to get out of mine. No, see, the thing is, luckily I have people like, what is the name of the DBR? DBR, they do Hellcat stuff heavy. Kong does porting for Hellcat stuff heavy. So, I have a lot of people to lean on, but I wouldn't really modify it all that much. What I would do if I was to get a Hellcat, I'd get a red eye, black or blue, pulley E85 and good suspension and stuff just so that it runs in the 9s quarter mile. Like that's it. Just same as a V3. Like if I was going to get a V3, I'd want it to run low 10s or high 9s and leave it the F alone. Because choppity chop, I know Bledsoe's probably going, oh my God. Sorry, we're gay. We love choppity chop. Because if you see a Cadillac CTS V3 down Clematis in West Palm, which is like a nice area to be seen at, or Atlantic Avenue in Del Rey, and you see a CTSV and it says it. Okay, cool, right? But let's say there's a CTS V3 with weld S71 bead locks. Don't need them, but just have them. Fronts, matching fronts. Same avenue. And he's like, which one do you want to be in? I want to be in the one that's farting up a storm. And people are like, what the fuck is that? Sounds like there's a war going on at that intersection. That's right. That's me, bitch. Is moving into a house by the end of 23 still the move? Yes, I'm not buying any cars. The move is this. Get the GT500 done. Get running 8s. Get it sold. That's going to be a massive chunk for a down payment on a house. As a stick shift driver, how do you feel about these clutch tamer devices? I just want to hear your opinion. So, I think clutch tamers, I can't say they're a negative, but there's a sense of pride that I have that if I can't do it, then I shouldn't be doing it. So I come from the mindset of if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do slicks and dump the clutch and figure out the track that way. And a lot of people with radios are just rolling their eyes at me while they have $5,000 clutches in their vehicles that they constantly have to adjust. I don't need to have a 160 foot time. If my car is cutting 139, 140, but deadly consistent, I'm saying, let's say I have a stick shift car. Let's say the GT500. Put some 5/8 studs, reinforce the rear end, really do a good job of making sure the rear end is going to live a little bit. And I go out there with a 2810-5 stiff fall slick. And it goes 135, 139 every time. I'm happy. 135, 139, 140 occasionally, but then it runs an 8. I'm good. But Alex, what if you had a black magic clutch in it? Then I would get one clean run, get under it, adjust it. Oh, now it's hotter. Now I got to just guess and get data. And I got to slip the clutch so much that the 60-foot time isn't that much better than what I would have gotten with my slick that's just cutting a consistent 135, 139, and 140. Now, a lot of the clutch guys out there go, no, what the hell you're talking about? You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Look, I feel about a clutch tamer the same way as I feel about a long arm style clutch and a strain gauge on the shifter. It takes away from the driver. Because let's be honest, if you adjust your clutch really well, let's say you're a master clutch adjuster, all you got to do is dump the clutch and then yank back on the stick. Where's the driving there? Well, what if you spin? Okay. What if I spin with a slick? I have to drive the car. So they should stop calling it driver mod and call it the H pattern class. Because if you are a master clutch adjuster, that's a tuning thing. That's a tuning thing. That's not a driver thing. That's a tuning thing. So your clutch guy or you adjust your clutch so well, you go pop, 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 dump the clutch. Well, how's that any different than me going bop, 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 and let go of the button? And then I yank back on the stick and don't clutch in. The strain gauge cut spark, boom, goes in a second. Push on the stick, strain gauge cut spark, boom, goes in a third. Where's the driving? Where's the clutching in? Where's the slipping of the clutch? What if you miss a gear with a strain gauge situation? Have you seen when guys miss a gear with a strain gauge situation? It's a problem to get it back into the right gear and get back on. Look, I love the stick shift game, and I'm so thankful these guys are getting after it. But the more I see strain gauges, long arm style clutches, and adjustments, you're basically tuning at that point. You're not driving. Tune the chassis, dump the clutch. Not even these guys are stealing Hellcats in Dallas. They want a Mopar. They're rolling around in a V3. Don't say that, because if I get a V3 and Pookie, by the way, got another guy on the thing. Hey, I really love your GT500 content, but I'm not liking the fact that you're saying Pookie, Hellcats, and Popeye's chicken. Is there a Popeye's chicken like in a Palm Beach Island? Is there a Popeye's chicken in Beverly Hills? No. There's a Popeye's chicken not far from me. I live in the trenches, son. I'm in it. I'm outside. So this guy's like, I don't like the undertones. Oh, but you laugh when I do this. Right? You laugh? Oh, Alex making fun of them again. Oh, yeah. And then you laugh when I go,
Pero pinche 956 a la verga.
But you draw the line at Pookie.
Hellcats and Darkhorse. They got Timmy on the top.
Stop it. Stop it. If you laugh at any racial joke, but get sensitive when it's your race, you need to watch another show, dude. Like, grow up. I make fun of Puerto Ricans, Arabs, Mexicans. Everybody gets it equally. Stop it. Stop it. You're not special. Stop it. All right, let's give away some stuff. Let's give away some stuff to the people here. So, first thing I'm going to do, members only. Members only. Members only. I'm only going to look at members. We're giving away a DNA hat to the members only. Sorry, prize, not a giveaway. Members only. You want a DNA hat? Members only? Put a 10 on the chat. First one to 10 on the chat member gets a DNA hat. Let's look. Let me see if I have oh, wait, no. Bam. Look at that. Out here, like immediately. Wayno, we out here. That's right, we out here. Wayno, do me a favor. Verify who you are. ydbt4life@gmail.com. He's got the good internet. Wayno is a member, and he has won himself a DNA High Performance hat. Congratulations, Wayno. Email me. You need to email me so that I can give this information to The guy, Alan, at DNA, he can send you a hat. You guys get it going. Now, we're going to give away, because you need, not the Lund hat. Yeah, you guys go nuts for the Lund hat. So let's get this given away. This is basically 2. You're going to get 2 of these, okay? One, this is basically to mate your collector to your H-pipe or X-pipe, whatever project you have, via their stainless clamps. Shout out to Ultimate Header for getting these guys sent to me. I will personally ship these to you. These right here that I'm holding with my hand. I'm touching, I'm rubbing them on my face so you can actually smell me. These will be giving to a member that puts up a 69 on the chat. That's right, 69 on the chat. You're going to get Ultimate Header pipe clamp thingy. So 69 on the chat, member only. So I'm looking for a member only. 69. It's so stupid. Where's the 69? Give me that 69, baby. Come on, let's go. 20. Hey, potential Indian scammer. Potential Indian scammer. Email me. ydbtforlife@gmail.com. Verify who you are. I will ship you these as soon as possible. So we already got Wayno. We got potential Indian scammer. Now, so you guys can see what I'm giving away, I will go to lundracing.com. I will show you the hat, and I will order it for you tomorrow, and it'll be drop shipped from them. Again, members only. I will show you the hat. Where's the where's failure horn? Where's the other one where it's like a waiting? It's like a waiting Price is Right. There it is. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, so branded bill. Here we go. Boom, right here. Display capture. Bam. So you are going to be getting the black hat. That's right. Black is the color people want. We're going to go here. Large headed ass motherfucker. Black. And that's the hat you'll be getting if you're a member. And if you put up the number 77. Let's go 77. First guy that puts up a 77 member in the chat. Member in the chat that puts up a 77. You get the black Lund Racing hat. That's right. We're going to be doing this every Tuesday. It's a someone put 956. Someone put a okay, 302 Coyotes. 302 Coyotes was the first one. It was tough. Look at the thing go. Oh, my Lord. You know how difficult it was to get that? And as proof, right here, 302 Coyotes. And look at the 77s pop up. My God, the hats are going. I'm going to do that every week, guys. Every week, you guys get something. So, 302 Coyotes, do me a favor. Verify who you are. Send me an email. And I will send you a hat courtesy of Lund Racing. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. Again, I am expecting 3 emails today from 3 members. DNA hat, clamp, and another hat from Lund Racing. Now, cookies and coffee. Now that goes to anybody. Cookies and coffee go to anybody because, you know, I don't want to make you guys feel bad about it, but the prizes that I got to pay for, I'd rather just, I'd rather just, give it to the members. So this is going to be a legit giveaway. Cookies and coffee. We're going to go ahead and give out coffee first. Okay. Anyone that puts up the number 2000, the number 2000. And again, please make sure that you haven't won before. Please, let's make sure that you haven't won before. Put the number 2000 on the chat. This is the best way to do it. Oh, look at that. Wayno. Damn, you have are you next door? He said, give it to someone else. Then the next one that gets the number 2000 gets the coffee. Guys, the coffee's really good. Rich 50 gets the coffee. Wayno must have the best internet. Wayno must have the absolute best internet. Okay, so we're going to give it to Rich 50, Melissa or James. If you're on the chat, please do me a favor. Man, that guy has really fast internet. He ain't it. There's no Popeyes near his neighborhood. There's no way there's a Popeyes near his neighborhood. I like to fuck him in the ass while he beat up the pussy. He wins the coffee. Now the cookies. The cookies to me are the coup de grace. They're the YDBT is great. Dookie, anything with peanut butter in it, they seem to have it down. Chocolate or peanut butter or caramel, just order that stuff. It's just legit. So what we're going to do again, anyone that puts up the number 5,000 on the chat gets the cookies, and then we'll end the show. 5,000 on the chat gets the cookies. 5,000 on the chat gets the cookies. Someone said he's your neighbor. He probably is the neighbor because I was blown away by that. 5,000, I do. What is happening? No, you don't win twice. You don't win twice. You put 50,000. Okay, Incognito Films. Wayno has the most insane internet. He put it up 3 times. And I said, no, you can't win twice. So Incognito Films, because Wayno already won something. Don't worry, Wayno. You'll be good. You'll get something. Incognito Films, he must have like ridiculously fast internet. Wayno almost won it again. And Incognito almost didn't win because he put in 50,000. So Incognito Films, you get the cookies. Melissa or James, please do me a big favor and grab Mr. Incognito Films. Incognito Films, hit them up. YDBT. Don't My God Cookies _LLC on Instagram. Yeah, how? Like, how does Wayno get immediate responses? Wow, crazy. He posted it way before you said it. Wayno won last week as well? Bro, he must be next door. He's in your trunk. Wayne is in with the dog in the other room. We got that Oklahoma internet. Good for you, Wayno. What do you mean? There's good internet in Oklahoma? Unreal. Hit us up. So EPA says hit us up. So hit up the people that won the coffees and the cookies, Don't My God Cookies _LLC. Hit them up on Instagram. That's where you go. Say, I'm the guy that won. Put up the screenshot. Verify who you are. And James and Melissa will get you cookies and coffee. Should be good to go. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate that. That was nice and easy. Let's hope that the emails come through. I get you DNA's info. I get you a Lund Racing hat and clamps every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. We do prizes or giveaways as a nice little way of saying thank you to the people that support. And again, if you want to be included in that, becoming a member is the absolute best way of supporting this channel by far. Behind the couch, Ops, Wayne is outside your window. So yeah, look, if you're sensitive, right? If you're, Wayno's secretly Alex's girlfriend. If you're sensitive to like racial, it's not racist, racial humor. And if you're triggered by that easily, this ain't the channel for you. Again, I haven't said outright racist stuff because that's crazy. I'm not psycho, but we do make fun of, I'm sorry, I don't see any Irish motherfuckers going after Hellcats. Like, when was the last time you saw a band of Irish dudes going after Hellcats? Damn, Alex, almost going to be a diss on Oklahoma by calling it Icklahoma. I don't know anything about Oklahoma. Like, I really don't understand why you would live there unless you have to live there. Like, tell me what's great about Oklahoma. Tell me, Oklahomans, Oklahomos, what is keeping you there? Like, what's keeping you there? If you're 23, 24, 25, don't have kids, don't have a long-term girlfriend, have a job that pays you less than $50,000 a year, what the hell keeps you in Oklahoma? The hope of seeing Big Chief somewhere? Stop it. South Park humor is your humor. If I get a Lund tune, will it be you tuning it? Probably not. Christian Cano? Probably not. Look, this is what's happening. Brandon, Dakota, and I are clones of Junior, meaning the way he wants us to tune, we tune. There is no more sauce if Junior tunes it. Why does Junior end up tuning the super duper fast combos? It's because sometimes they're super custom. Like, people go out of their way to really try to reinvent the wheel to go the same exact number motherfuckers have been doing with vetted combos forever. But Junior takes those projects on, and then eventually they become base files and they trickle their way down to us. So if you get me, you're going to make the same exact power Dakota, Brandon, and Junior make because we all tune with the same thought process. We don't deviate from it. I'll give you guys an example. Here we go. 2 days ago, I was tuning a gentleman, and he has another company's fuel system that isn't For Innovations. Again, guys, hey, Angel Casillas, thank you. Hello from LA. There is no better fuel system out there than the For Innovations fuel system, period. So when someone says, I have a fuel system from another company, I don't care. I go, okay, it's just not going to be as high quality as, let's say, a Ford Innovation fuel system. So there is no other way that Lund Racing tunes fuel systems. There's just one method, one methodology. Has to be boost reference, and the same files get sent to you when you have a return style fuel system. So the moment I start seeing something in the data log that makes me go, it's a little choppy, something's wrong with your pumps. No, nothing's wrong with my pumps. It's a blah, blah, blah fuel system. By the way, here's their address. I don't want their address. I don't want their email. I want you to diagnose your fuel system because you installed it. So come to find out, there was a restriction in the inlet somewhere. Complained about me, said I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not getting proper service from Alex. I want to go to someone else. Went to someone else. All of a sudden, he found a mechanical condition that was showing a discrepancy in the data log. Do you think I'm going to get an apology? Do you think I'm going to get a, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, even though you've been tuning for probably close to 10 years now? You've done it the same forever, and I apologize for calling your expertise into question? Never. They go, well, once I went over to another guy, he took care of me. He said the exact same thing I said. Fix your shit. So, you probably don't want me if you want to feel warm and fuzzy. You probably don't want to get me in the tuning system if you want to feel warm and fuzzy. What I'm going to do is not send you any tunes until you fix your car if I feel that it is a mechanical condition. Because what happens? When I was a good old boy, I'll be like, well, it's a little lean. Here's this. Oh, it's better now. Okay, good. See you later. 2 months later, hey, I found a big cat in my cold air intake. There was a cat sucked into my charge pipe. Now it's 40% rich, and you flooded my cylinders. No, thank you. Lies, Alex, you enabled the fuel restriction table in HPT. You're right. I flipped the switch. Anthony, I want that eBay fuel system. Thanks for the Pookie edition last week. I'm tuned by Tricky and would like to switch to Lund, says 50 Man. Do I need to go back to my stock tune? No. We can flash over your existing tune. Now, if this is what I want you to do, and I want Tricky to hear this, I want you to work with your current tuner to make sure that your problems are being met. Give Tricky the ability to adjust so that you can reach your desired goal. Do not come to me seeking more power out of an NA car. Okay? I want Tricky to have the right to tune your car because you have already paid him until you've said, okay, we've come to an impasse. No offense, but I want to try someone else. Then no issue. But I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, come to us. Tricky sucks. I'm not going to do that because he's probably a good tuner. I don't know him from a hole in the wall, but he's probably a nice guy. So if you are already paid up for a tune, let Tricky handle it. If you are saying, I'm just done, okay, then order a tune from Lund Racing and we'll be able to take care of you. But I want you guys to make sure that you have exhausted all efforts with your current tuner before switching tuners. But Alex, you enabled the line pinch tune in the tune setting. Like I've said before, the last time I didn't take Alex's advice, I bought a fuel system 3 times. And I appreciate you, Angel Puerto Rico. Damn, my payment info expired for the membership. Just realized. All good, Tristan. Other tuners hacking budget fuel systems like landlord apartment repairs. The second you look them up close, it all falls apart. What's the email? What? What's the email? ydbtforlife@gmail.com. ydbt for life at, oh, Jesus. For life at gmail. I only said it 15 times.com. ydbt4life@gmail.com, and I'll make it a sticky. Boop. I'll pin it to the top. Make it a sticky. You can tell I'm old when I'm saying make it a sticky. If you're going to get tuned by us and you want to leave Trick, cool, but I would implore you to go all the way with him before you come to us. Any Black Betty removed this message. I don't know what's going on there. So, okay, let's wrap it up. Today we talked about the Darkhorse. What kind of numbers does it have to run for it to be something that you think is an upgrade? Because the comparison of the Darkhorse is the GT350, not the GT or not the Mach 1. If you are offering the Darkhorse as the GT replacement, it has to be better. If you're saying, well, it's better because it has a 10R80, that is not enough. GTs with a cold air tune and E85 are going to be racing Darkhorses, and they're going to, if they're not tunable, they're going to be making fun of them and dragging them on social media nonstop. But they might be able to do good takeovers because of the drift stick. Stop it with the bullshit. Ask ChatGPT how to tune your Coyote. My tuner said 14.0 at watt is desirable. No, he didn't. No way. That's crazy. No way he said that. No way. Like, I've heard that. I remember watching a competition, a tuning competition, and some guy a tuner lost to an Arab tuner that was commanding stoic at watt. It was probably lean as hell, but mean as hell. And he didn't care if it blew up or not. But he's like, his car is 14.0 at watt. And it beat me. And I'm like, I don't know how long that engine's going to last, but there was like some kind of tuning contest that was actually pretty interesting to watch. Does the Darkhorse have 200 on the dash? Man, get on 95. This thing got 200 on the dash. I'm going to slide to 95. Where's that sound clip? Once you get on 95 and slide. Once you get on the highway, we slide on the highway. This thing got 200 on the dash, bitch. Man, this thing got 200 on the dash. Man, I got $1,500 car payment. Alex, question. Can you guys work on HP tuners Engage? Yes. I mean that will it all have the same function as Lund Engage or is it Sasso? JD Bruce. It cannot be married to another vehicle. It has to be married to your car. It can never have been tuned before. It has to be married to one vehicle only. Not one other motherfucker should have ever gotten a tune from it.
Not one motherfucker.
Not one prospectus is...
Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000, this century, has alluded to global warming.
Exactly.
Not one motherfucker.
Alex, your DMs will be full of GTs gapping Darkhorse. Is this competitive tuning? What the fuck? Right. It's better because it has a wine logo. It says, if not chopping like a motherfucker, it ain't worth shit. I might give this away, but I don't think you can ship alcohol, right? Can you ship alcohol? I don't know shit. I might give this away. This is so stupid. It's just a prop, but it's funny. Like, it's funny. It's my prop. Hey, I'm sorry, Alex. That was me. Rogue50. That was you? Rogue50? The one that said, the fuel system... And then Brandon found out you had like something stuck up in your... Man, you want to talk about me having a bad day? You want to talk about me having a bad day. When someone puts into question what you do for a living and then request another tuner, now that makes me look bad. And then only to find out that the person had a mechanical issue. I don't know if it was actually you, Rogue, but if it was you, well, you ruined my Monday. Do you just need proof of who we are or proof of your YouTube membership handle or our address? Yes. Yeah, you need everything. I literally need... some people send me a picture of their whole license. Their whole ass license. It's got 85 on the dash with that Retro Fox display. Alex, you're not sliding unless you're disconnecting ABS. I thought... Although you were wrong, it was not the pumps. See what I mean, guys? You see what I mean? There's a restriction somewhere in the inlet. I said, well, it's either the pumps or something else is wrong. But was it the tune, Rogue50? Was it the tune? Put on the chat if it was the tune. Yes or no. I can't see that you had a bag in the inlet. I can't see that you had styrofoam sucking up some. I can't see if you have... All I see is fuel trims hating life. Going up. So I go, well, based on my experience, that's a fuel delivery issue. I'm sorry that I didn't see a restriction at the cold air. How would I have seen that? Like, imagine you're driving along and you run over a coyote, an actual dog, and the guts and the blood are stuck in the filter. And then you send me a log and I go, it looks like it's not trimming properly. Do you have a restriction somewhere? Then you go, you know what, Alex? I don't like your responses. I want somebody else. And then you just looking over shit. You go, oh, there's coyote guts in my cold air. But I still was right because Alex's guess was incorrect. Come on. And you guys think my job is easy. Imagine 50 of those guys at the same time. that question everything you do, request somebody else, and all of a sudden you look like a clown in front of your coworkers, only for them to say, Alex, the tune was on the money. Everything was perfect. Like perfect. After he fixed his shit. And I'm like, so there you go. I was wrong. I didn't see a restriction in the inlet. I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. Unreal. Bro, you guys want to become tuners? Do it at your own detriment. It is as fun as working as a Walmart customer service rep. I liken my job to being a Walmart customer service representative. When someone returns something and yell at you about it, and I'm like, let's say they drop their television, smashed it on the ground, and go, hey, this thing broke. Give me another one. I'm like, bro, stop it. The real question is, what kind of guy will be driving a Darkhorse, Shelby Dave, or is it a new breed? Interesting. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I got another show to do on the dating channel, but today we gave away clamps, 2 hats, cookies, and coffee. So that is good. I was simply looking for some direction, and I did. Oh, so it was the fuel system. Oh, so you want me to tell you where the restriction is specifically? I said it was a fuel system issue. And it was, what is it? It ended up being fuel vaporization at the rails. So it was a fuel system issue. Oh, okay. Hey, man, it might be fuel vaporization at the rails. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Bro, you guys want to be a remote tuner and deal with that all day? You're Brandon's guy now, bro. Don't hit me up with a tune. Don't hit me up for a revision. You're Brandon's guy. You and Brandon are an item. If a revision comes through and I see that name, I'm going to go, Brandon, this is your guy. Vaya con Dios, because I wasn't specific enough when I said it was a fuel delivery issue and it could be the pumps. But I forgot that the fuel vaporization in the rails could also cause that. Out of here. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm sure I'll hear about that shit tomorrow. I don't care. I did my job. It wasn't the tune. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you guys Thursday for YDBT Daily, and we'll hang out then. Have a good one. See you guys later. And if you're going to be on the dating channel, give me about 10 minutes, and I'll switch over there and hang out there with you guys. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Fuel vapor.